Sri Lanka is an island nation which has a history of over 2,000 years. The major invention of early Sri Lankans was their irrigation system. Wawa, or the tanks, acts the key role of this system. They build tanks using geographical establishment. Many of the tanks were interconnected using canals. The major tank, or the Mahawawa, was built in the highest altitude point of the area. The gathered water in major tank was distributed to small tanks through the paddies and canals. This system will help to increase the groundwater level and help to balance the natural water cycle. Parakrama Samudra was one of the largest man-made reservoirs in ancient world. It was built by King Parakramabahu between 1153 to 1186 AD. Parakrama Samudra was spread over 22.6 square kilometers. Madurai Dam, also among the greatest constructions by the ancient Sri Lankans irrigation engineers. When reconstructing Madurai Dam, modern engineers select the best place to build the dam using satellite and other modern engineering techniques. Miraculously, they found the ruins of ancient dam in the same exact point when they were excavating that place. When we go through the Sri Lankan history, we can also find many amazing architectural and civil engineering infrastructures. In Sri Lanka we can find many ancient Buddhist monasteries and building, which was built over thousands of years. Thewana Stupa was the largest man-made brick structure in ancient world. It was built in between 273 to 301 AD. Its floor area cover over more than 5.6 hectares, and it runs up to 122-meter height. See, Giraya. The rock fortress of King Kasyapu is well-known architectural and civil engineering infrastructures, which were named as UNESCO World Heritage Site. See, Giraya Castle was built in between 477 to 495 CE. Sprinklers in the castle's garden were still working throughout the history. As a country, Sri Lanka faced many invaders throughout the history, because many of the emperors and kings believe that by conquering Sri Lanka they can gain access to control the naval power in Indian Ocean. Investors in many countries also wants to establish their business in Sri Lanka to gain the access to the very good transport and logistical links through the country. Though many investors want to invest and gain the use of the international naval lines through the Sri Lanka, it was banned by the LTTE Terrorism Act in the country for last 30 years. Many investors were afraid to invest in the country. But there are many companies who were successfully established over 100 years in country. John Keells, Don Carolus, and Sons, Haley's, Genas, and a group of companies, Pereira and Sons, are among the most popular 100-year-old companies in the country. In 2014, revenue of John Keells holdings extend beyond $600 million. Sri Lanka also has a vibrant stock market permitting exit by IPO for investors. With the end of terrorism in 2009, many investors now invest in Sri Lanka and gain the use of geographical location of the country to expand their global market share. With the freedom and serenity now, Sri Lanka expands their economy through many fields: software engineering, automobile engineering, maritime services, travel and tourism, agricultural and food productions are among the few of the emerging field in Sri Lanka. Furthermore, there is a significant thrust in the ocean, shipping, shipbuilding and braking spheres, and to utilize the vast resources of the Indian Ocean, which lies at our feet. Sri Lanka is a country that has high level of skilled workers. This will become an advantage to those who invest in engineering industry. Software engineering industry was one of the successfully grown industries in New Sri Lanka. WSO2, Virtusa and Millennium IT were among the giant who gained success through invest in software engineering industry. Vega is newly born vehicle brand name in Sri Lankan automobile industries. Vega's dream is to produce the electric, high-performance supercar. In near future, it will become a world-class high-performance electrical vehicle producer. With the end of 30 Years' War, in 2009 Sri Lanka became a world rapidly growing economy. Sri Lanka was listed in Breakout Nations list by Rucha Sharma as a world's breakout nations for powerful economy. In his book he clearly mentioned that Sri Lanka already begin to build a good foundation for foreign and local investors. With the lower labor cost, easy accessing to international naval routes and high level of skilled workers, Sri Lanka will become a good fertile ground to any investor who seek for their own success. Many Sri Lankan believes that thing that they learned can't be stolen by anyone, it will be the property they can keep safe for their lifetime without any fear. Because of this belief many Sri Lankan were naturally focused on gaining a good education. Because of that, many parents teach their children at any cost. In 2014, 4,272,286 students were entered to schools as Grade 1 participants. In same year only 277,414 were qualified from ordinary level. Though, only 126,971 candidates were passes advanced level and eligible to enter universities. But, there only 25,200 new admissions were available in government universities for basic degrees. More than 80% of student who passes advanced level was unable to enter a government university. Altogether, more than 90% of students who passes ordinary level were unable to get proper education through government universities. They have to find their future through private university or through vocational and technical training institute. Many of the vocational and technical training institute only provides a diploma level qualification. Still, there is only few number of private universities who can provide degree level qualification. From them, only 2 or 3 universities who can provide an engineering degree. To enter that few universities, students who have passed advanced level also face to another fight. Cause of that, many of the parents entering their children to foreign education. Over 7,000 students were overseas from Sri Lanka for higher education within 1 year. Each student nearly spends 2.5 million rupees or US dollars 20,000 for an academic year. With the spreading harmony, Sri Lanka private universities not only provide the service to local students but also they have provided the service to foreign students in the region. Many students in the regional countries like to obtain their education from Sri Lanka. Because of high level of education, lower living cost, and friendly environmental conditions. Annually in South Asian subcontinent over 7,000 students from Sri Lanka, over 400,000 students from India, over 10,000 students from Pakistan and over 28,000 from Nepal students were overseas attending foreign universities to secure their future as graduates. With the end of civil conflict now, Sri Lanka is a peaceful place for any kind of activity in education and investment. Sri Lanka is ideally placed to attract large numbers of students from the South Asian, East African and Southeast Asian regions due to being centrally placed to all these regions and providing a very good education and general environment. Also, Sri Lanka would be a very good launch platform for ocean-based technologies, for the countries in the region.